Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And you know, this ANC government, they miss the mark so many times. And before I tell you about what they're doing, let me tell you something which is used a lot by these black gangs who go and protest and riot and cause trouble. They use programs like WhatsApp to go and alert their group that they're going to have a protest, and they all go and gather together, and then they march. This doesn't happen by some kind of spontaneous little piece of magic. Now, you take the case of what happened in Hermanus just yesterday. And Marlena writes to me as follows: to keep you in the loop, an update on situation in Hermanus. Got a letter below from my friend who manages a laundry while her husband is managing 2 guest houses. She said that although court interdict against the riots is in place, and I've actually covered that in an earlier video, it did not prevent 600 to 800 rioters to swamp the town of Hermanus peacefully, but they entered businesses and guest houses and wanted memorandums signed. Many people refused. Talk circulating that they are not going to stop. They are planning something big. What they're doing is they're completely destroying the town of Hermanus. The whole economy of that town has just gone cactus. And this email confirms it. The situation at business is very bad. Very little business in Hermanus. Workers also don't turn up some days. Seems like her husband may lose his job as manager at the guest house due to no guests. He is over 64, so he will not find a job again. They will also lose their accommodation, which was part of his pay as guest house manager. Now, this is the sort of crap that's going on because of the use of little apps like WhatsApp to rally a group together to cause trouble. Now, you'll notice in this hate speech act that the ANC government are bringing out, this side of things doesn't even get a look in. Let me tell you more. Justice and Constitutional Development Minister Ronald Lamola wants the new parliament to prioritise a proposed piece of legislation aimed at criminalising racism and other hate crimes. Presenting his first budget vote in the National Assembly on Tuesday, Lamola detailed his legislative agenda for the 2019-2020 financial year, including the revival of the Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Bill, which the Fifth Parliament failed to finalise before the expiry of its term, before the elections in May. The bill sparked controversy when it was first tabled in Parliament in 2018, with detractors describing it as a threat to freedom of speech. But Lamola said he would soon be reviving the bill in Parliament so that the Justice Portfolio Committee could start processing it afresh. He said the controversial Traditional Courts Bill would also be back on the agenda. As part of its legislative programme, the department intends to promote the following bills this financial year. 1. The Prevention and Combating of Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Bill, which has already been introduced into Parliament and was being considered by the Justice and Correctional Services Portfolio Committee. 2. The Traditional Courts Bill, which was passed by the National Assembly of the Fifth Parliament and is awaiting consideration by the National Council of Provinces. 3. A bill providing for the establishment of a land court aimed at promoting land justice and the democratisation of land ownership. The bill would aim to address some of the challenges experiencing the current Land Claims Court dispensation. And lastly, the Recognition of Customary Marriages Amendment Bill, which would be introduced to ensure compliance with court judgments. Turning to the scourge of crime and corruption, Lamola said he would lobby the National Treasury to lift a freeze on the hiring of staff at the National Prosecuting Authority from 2015, which he said had resulted in almost 700 vacant prosecutor posts. Lamola said he would also discuss with the Treasury the implications of accepting private donor funding to bolster the capacity of the National Prosecuting Authority, or NPA. However, Much more needs to be done to resource the NPA to enable it to meet the demands for its services. For example, the fiscally introduced freeze on all hiring of staff since 2015, resulting in 685 vacant prosecutor posts at the end of June, needs to be reconsidered so the NPA can recruit much needed middle to senior level positions as a matter of urgency, especially in those specialized units, he said. Well, good luck with that, with the brain drain that's happened in South Africa. And good luck with that because of BEE. If you use BEE in the court system, you're going to have a huge shortfall of competent magistrates. Getting back to the story. While recognizing the current fiscal constraints, the department will need to engage with the National Treasury regarding measures to enable the adequate capacitation of the NPA. Lamola said the department would discuss with the NPA and the Treasury the implication of private donor funding because, as we leave no stone unturned to ensure all criminal cases are prosecuted, we will nonetheless endeavour to do nothing that will undermine the independence and integrity of the prosecution. Now, as you see, these riots are through mobile phone apps like WhatsApp. And you know, what they do is they rally a group together and they go and cause shit in places like Hermanus. But that kind of application, when we're talking about, use of the internet, is completely left off this so-called hate speech bill, which they're trying to rush through. They're really taking the wrong bull by the horns here. Anyway, that's my take on the thing. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, ring the bell for updates, and have a great evening.